Good morning, good morning. I need a little pep in my step. I'm sorry I'm late. I got distracted watching a bolo. But I needed a cup of coffee today because I've been awake for a minute. How is everybody this morning? If you're a member of the team, please hit the daily heart me. If you're not, please stick around, see if you like what you see in here, and if you do, please join the team. My one major request is that every time I change the photo, please like the live until you see the heart. Then you'll see the heart's tail. Feel the heart's tail and then take a break. And when your finger feels like it again, do it again. I don't care about the number at the end. What I care about is that our live doesn't get taken down and that I end up on the FYP, because I'm trying to reach people who are either caught up in a scammer's web, thinking about sending money, or is new, and I want them to avoid going through what so many others have gone through. So, this morning, we're going to talk about Jordan Paul, Carrie Wells, Tim and Angela, Timothy Nash. Chef Carl has made a resurgence. Josh and Ida. Good morning, offer one. I didn't get to talk about Maggie on Monday, and I apologize. So I'm going to try to make sure we get to her today. Although I think people by now have seen the videos, but if you haven't, we're going to talk about it a little bit, and then you can go look up the videos for yourself. We're going to talk about Asia and, of course, Lisa. Why would she get started at 5 o'clock this morning with the exact same story? Like, ma'am, we have seen proof after proof that you have been getting money this entire time. From the time that you lived in your apartment when you had your son and your pets until now. And yet, you still get on here and fake cry and force tears about how you haven't eaten and you don't have anything to drink and you're outside, and then the next thing we know, you're inside of Nate's house. Like, I'm so sick of her. Keep it a buck. I'd have more respect. Let's make sure. I'm going to talk about Tim and Angela. So whoever... good morning if you're awake, you guys. But somebody make sure you text them and tell them, okay? Because that's what he keeps saying. He gets text messages at 6 in the morning, even though I don't start until 6:30. So who's talking about you at 6 in the morning? Okay, Tim. Kayla, I love it. I love it. Relax. My voice puts my niece to sleep. I don't want y'all to go to sleep. Yes, Sherry, I appreciate that. And to add to that, please don't go back and forth with Steve Crick. Please don't. Let them languish out there, hoping and wondering. But he'll be quiet. If he is here, he'll be quiet until I, get into it. But let's see. I want to start with an oldie but goodie, Mr. Chef Carl. So the other day, he came back. And I was a little surprised. Because I thought maybe he got his life together. And he won't, he doesn't need to come back to TikTok. Or, I saw that Lori was live. Thank you, Sherry. So, and by the way, follow my mods, thank my mods at the end of every live. Oh, Lord. Kira, please no. Please. Yes, that's the phone. Go back and lay down. Of course she's in the way. Trying to move the phone. Anyway, um, I thought he was done. Like, you're not getting any more money. However, what we did know was that he was still asking for money behind the scenes. And for anybody who wonders, like, what's the big deal? Why do we do this? There are a number of reasons. But one of the biggest ones is that once you give them your payment app, meaning you send them 10, 15, 20, $100, and you think that's my good deed of the year, or that's my good deed with them, that's not where it ends for them. They will continue to request, send messages, etc., to get more money. And a lot of people would rather cave in and give in than go back and forth with somebody. And I'll be honest, I understand that. It gets annoying after a while. It's like, let me just send these $20 so that they can leave me alone. But the problem is that that's not what happens. They come back to you later. And part of the reason why I know Carl is still getting money is because he was sitting in a car. And we all know Carl loves to have a car because he does his work for work, which doesn't exist, by the way. I've done research. There's no company called Work for Work that has anything to do with renting a car and then being able to use said car to do Uber or Lyft or whatever it is, and then you pay a monthly fee. It is not called Work for Work. Okay, there are companies called Work for Work, but that isn't one here in the state of Florida. So he comes back on from a car. Remember, lately he had been doing it from a bit. Oh God, here's White Sox. You're coming to make your appearance this morning? How are you, buddy? White Sox? What's happening? What can we do for each other this morning? Please go lay down. Go lay down in your daddy's spot. Go ahead. That's your favorite, we know. Go ahead. Here, let me give you mommy's pillow. You like to lay on that too. Okay, they're saying good morning, White Sox. Good morning. Anyway, he wants something that I'm not giving him. I'm not sure what it is. So, Mr. Chef Carl is back. In the background of that particular live the other day was him asking for $5,000. Now, it always cracked me up that he would ask for like $5,000 or $30,000, and he would be like, this is all I need. But the $5,000, he's like, well, this is what I need, but this is just to get started. This is just for me to have my knee surgery, and then that way I can have money to get an apartment and then to pay my bills for a couple of months while I recover from my knee surgery, etc., etc. Now, we all know that I suffer from excruciating knee pain and that my eventuality will be knee surgery, right? But Chef Carl has gotten so much money on this app to the tune of thousands of dollars. He honestly believes that if he keeps asking, he will get enough. Now, let's bear something in mind. The enough may not be $5,000 in one lump sum. Chef Carl is happy with getting enough money to be able to rent that car so that he's mobile, so that he can go and be wherever it is he wants to be. So if he's asking for $5,000 and he gets $500, that's a win for him. Right, he does demand money, Granny. All the time. It's annoying. It's embarrassing. You can do everything else in your life, but pick yourself up, get a job, and earn the money you need to be able to take care of yourself. And as long as he's been doing this, he qualifies for things that could help him take care of himself. He wants the freedom to do what he wants. He doesn't want to stay in a shelter because the shelter has rules. Carl doesn't like rules. He doesn't have an animal that will prevent him from going in. He doesn't have children. He doesn't have a wife that he doesn't want to separate from. It's just him. But I believe All For One coined the term, what was it, like King Baby, where he has gotten accustomed to being taken care of his whole life, and now that the people who used to take care of him are no longer there, he's now turned to the internet to be his parents and grandparents who fund his lifestyle. Good morning to everybody just coming in. I say this all the time, and I'm going to say it again. When you stop begging on this app, I stop talking about you. And I think that a lot of people who are serious about what we do the same thing. I don't have to regurgitate you to keep my life moving, because literally I was distracted this morning by somebody else. Now, I haven't decided that they're a bolo, because some of what they had to say is on the right track. But I came across someone else who blocked me as soon as I went in before I could even say hello. You've never seen me before, so why are you blocking me? Red flag on the play. So I don't need to bring somebody up from 6 months ago to talk about. There is always somebody new on here begging for money. Every day. Sometimes I get recommendations, and sometimes they literally fall in my lap. But if you come back here to take advantage of people, I'm going to talk about you, whether you like it or not. Good morning, good morning. Because my goal is to make people aware of your tactics and the tactics of others. Oh yeah, Amber, they are block happy, but he learned a little lesson last night. We'll talk about it. Right. TikTok is an ATM. And again, let me stress this as well. It is true that everybody has a peak and a valley. And sometimes those valleys come seeming like back to back. Or it wasn't anything you could have been prepared for. Y'all know the story. I was a 25-year-old widow with a 6-year-old. Do you think I needed help then? Of course I did. So I am not talking about the person who finds themselves in a bad situation. It could be once or twice. And they need a little help. They need a hand up, not a handout. They are willing to research resources to find anything they qualify for. They're willing to take whatever steps are necessary to get out of that valley. They are not who I'm talking about. People's lives have been changed on this app by the kindness of others. I am talking about the ones who have decided that they don't need to do anything for their own lives, that TikTok is the beginning, the middle, and the end. The alpha and the omega. What work? Why would I need to work? TikTok will pay for it. So let's get that straight as well. Because they love to say, why do you guys kick somebody when they're down? Because you perpetually stay down. We will watch you make a stupid decision just so you have a reason to come back. You didn't read the paperwork, and so here we are again. Um, Tijuana, this may be your first time here. You are welcome to the box and we can talk about it, but in the meantime, the problem is that they're taking advantage of other people. They don't just ask one time, get out of the valley, and then back to regular scheduled programming. No. They will come back, and the people who were kind enough to help, they will message over and over and request over and over, and in some cases they will dox the people who helped them to force them to send more money. And as a society, we have norms and a moral compass that we all expect others to have. And as long as you are taking advantage of other people, I have every right to talk about it. So you are absolutely free to block and move on. But I have chosen to stand in the middle of that storm and say, Grand Rising, and say, enough is enough. And it's not just me. There are lots of us who do it. Because all I can think about is my mother, my father, my grandparents, my older sister, my nieces and nephews, who could be taken advantage of because somebody is fake crying on the internet, but they don't know that it's fake crying. They don't know that it's a lie. They don't know that it's for rugs. Correct, Nicole. They especially go after old people. It's just like the old emails and phone calls where they would call and say they were from Social Security or Medicare and we need this information and that information. You could have said the same thing. Well, they got the money, so move along. The federal government decided that that was a criminal offense. But we could have had the same attitude. Well, you gave them the information over the phone, so suffer the consequences. And TikTok has become the scammer's ATM. So that's why I do it. That's why I don't block and move on. But you're free to. I can't make anybody else see it the way I do. Correct, Miss Nisi. And not only do they feel entitled to your money, they also feel like you shouldn't ask a single question other than how much and where can I send it. If I'm thinking about sending you my money and I want to make sure that you're on the up and up, and I say, well, your electric is out, show me proof, and they say they don't have to show me anything, well, guess what? My wallet is closed and back in my purse. Good morning. Because where can you go anywhere on this earth and ask for money and not have to answer a question? Or when you've gotten the money and we ask for proof that you used it for what you said you were going to use it for, and you say, I don't have to show you anything. You are absolutely right. The mods are just as bad. The mods are muting, blocking, the whole shebang, lying in the live to prove to other people, oh, I've known them for a long time. They've always told the truth. When we have concrete proof of them lying. And I'm not going to say that the mods get paid, because in some cases, the mods are only mods as long as they are giving the scammer the money. But the mods are there because they like the power of it all. They like hearing their name called. They like being able to determine. Sometimes they do it wrong, and instead of being like, I'm sorry, they'll be like, oh well. What? Right, Lady Hatchet. And that's also true. A lot of them also are receiving state and federal resources and coming to TikTok and acting like they don't have a single thing. And I used to say this a lot, and I'm going to say this again. So they're hitting you 3 times. First, they're receiving state and federal assistance, whether it be SSI, food stamps, Medicaid, housing, child care, all of that. Then they want your after tax money. So after all of your taxes have paid for their benefits, they want to come after the paycheck after that. And then what we found during tax time is they wanted part of your tax returns. Wow, that's crazy. They want your tax return. And that's not me making it up. They have said the words exactly. We thought you'd be more generous. We thought you'd give more now that you've gotten your tax return. Excuse me? Oh, I'm so sorry, Vicky. A lot of us end up over here because we found out the hard way. I almost gave Lisa money for her son until I saw the video of her sister saying I bought everything for him to go away to camp. And literally as soon as Lisa got her son back, she started begging for items for the camp. And I was flabbergasted. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Oh yeah, just Kim. I told the story the other day where a woman promised Maggie a couple dollars, and I think it was 20 or 25. And when the woman got paid, the woman was like, "I'm sorry, like I needed to do something with my kids." And Maggie was like, "F your kids. Like I take your promise seriously. You knew you had kids when you promised it, so I want my money." When did it become your money? We gonna talk about her. Please, if I don't talk about her, remind me. I'll stay on an extra 10 minutes. Good morning, to make sure that I cover her, because I missed her on Monday. But Chef Carl, you've decided to return and beg for money. I'm gonna, and I said that to him. I was like, really, Carl? I was like, Carl, you want to end up back on my list? And then he blocked me. I don't understand. I mean, I can understand blocking me because you don't want me to tell people in the chat itself the truth. But sometimes I don't even say anything and they block me. And it's like, do you really think that blocking me is going to change a single thing? Yeah, top 4 ways. The 4th way being the best, but he can't communicate with you on the 4th way. I wonder why. Very suspicious. Can somebody find out for me what the 4th way is? I think it's CA. And then my question is, why can't you communicate on CA? Good morning, good morning. But anybody that needs a further explanation about why I do what I do is welcome to the box. There have been times where it seemed like they were pre-recorded, but there's no way to pre-record blocking me. And they feel pre-recorded because he literally says the same thing over and over and over again. So they do absolutely feel pre-recorded, but they're not. And I want to know who put you in a car. Yep, tell your friends, your church members, your co-workers, and tell them to tell their friends, family members in church. And then everybody send me the money. Good morning to anybody coming in. Good morning. Oh, thank you, Miss Brenda. For everybody to know, gifts, White Sox, gifts are appreciated and not expected. I'm going to do this regardless. So, Carl, you're back, and now you're back on the list. And I'll be watching. You can block me all you'd like. Yes, Nicole, that is very true. If you have older people in your life, whether it's parents, grandparents, um, aunts and uncles, co-workers, I don't use in short church members. Let's use Chef Carl's request. Let them know. Let them know. Forewarn them. You know, the federal government has done an okay job of telling them you never give out your social security number, never give out your Medicare number, never share your banking information. The bank will never call you and ask you. You know what I'm saying? And they couldn't just say it once. They have to say it over and over and over again. This is the same thing. They make it seem like your last $20 will save their life. And so a lot of kind-hearted people will give because, you know, the whole adage, if you want to receive blessings, you have to extend blessings. But they don't care that it's your last $20. They don't care if you won't have food in your refrigerator. And I promise you, 95% of them, if you ask for $5 because you were getting ready to get cat food instead of tuna fish, they would be like, I don't know what to tell you. You better go on TikTok and beg like I do. They wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire. You guys know that the Collins is a new family we've been watching. And when I was like, can I come in the box and ask a couple of questions? He was like, we don't let strangers in the box. I said, but you'll accept a stranger's money though. How does that work? A box that you have complete control over. You could drop me at any point. You could mute my microphone. You are afraid to do that, but not afraid to take my money? It tells you exactly who they are. Oh, wait, I missed something. That's right, God's child. That's right. I'm getting older too. What do they say? I was born at night, but not last night. Okay. But what also cracks me up is while there are some young, able-bodied scammers out there, there are just as many older people who should know better. Why are you taking advantage of your fellow man? Oh, I have this illness and that illness, and as if they are a unique medical wonder in the world. There are people living life every day with the exact same things you have. And they're not on TikTok begging. Now again, let me make it very clear. If someone has cancer and they have to have a surgery and they do a GoFundMe or they do a fundraiser for that in order to pay the copay or get the medication, I do not have a problem with that. Unique circumstances. And the way insurance companies are now, they'll be like, oh sure, we'll pay for the surgery, but you need $2,000. As long as it's public, as long as you're not begging for money behind the scenes, do what you do. To me, that's valid. But you want to say you have something or you need this and that, and you're not willing to show a shred of proof of any of it? How do you expect me to believe it? I'm skeptical. And after doing this for as long as I've been doing it, which is not as long as most, I need to see the proof. And I need to see it in the way that will let me know, soup to nuts, that this real and not something you made up, where you chopped it up, where I see a hello at the top, thank you at the bottom, but the middle of the letter don't make sense. Yeah, I need to see one piece of paper. You can cover the pertinent information that you don't want us to know. I'm okay with that. I don't want to know your address. I don't want to know your account number. I want to see the body of the letter that says such and such has been cut off. And this is the amount it will take to cut it back on. That's what I want to see. So, Chef, it is not TikTok's responsibility to pay for you to have an apartment. And pay your food when we know you get food stamps. You have Medicaid. So what part of that isn't getting covered, Carl? Please be for real. Next. Let's do Asia real quick. Because nothing has actually really changed. Her, again, you want to know why I do this? Her attitude is outrageous. Because she feels like she deserves the money. And if she's not getting enough, or what she finds adequate, she gets mad at the people in the audience and is like, I'm going to end this live because I'm not getting any gifts. I'm not getting anything to my CA or whatever it is that she uses. And like, why are y'all watching me? Because we're watching for the scam, man. You are young and able-bodied. And yet you literally for a year have expected every hotel room. You don't want to go get a box of cereal and every day go get a little carton of milk so that you have breakfast. No, you want breakfast delivered to you. Most people go to the grocery store, get what they want for breakfast, put it in the refrigerator, and make it. Now, granted, I know you can't do that, but you're asking for people to do stuff they can't even do in their own household. Or wouldn't do, because it's not financially viable. But you expect it to happen. You take men's money knowing what they want at the end and then try to, I don't even know why are you calling me sugar? But if he says, what's your CA? Oh, it's such and such. Nicole, I don't disagree. Because there was a period of time where she was clearly staying in a home. It was not a hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. And she was still begging like that's what she needed. But it was obvious she was staying in a home. Oh yeah, nails done, hair done. So anyway, she tried to put together a video. I don't know if it was based on my live or not. I'm not going to be that pompous. But she's like, people always question why I'm not working. And so she does this video where she shows photos of herself in various uniforms. So it was like Amazon, then Burger King, then Wendy's, then McDonald's. It was something like that, right? And my thing is this. You've had that many jobs in a year? Like, are you proud of yourself? Why can't you hold on to a job that will get you out of the situation you're in? Again, hand up, not hand out. The lady the other day said she gave you $512. You got your hair and nails done. And then you blocked her. Which is just like the most despicable of all. You blocked her after she sent you that amount of money. I feel like you shouldn't block somebody after $5. Forget $500. But in my mind, $500, let's say it'll pay for 2 weeks of a hotel room. Go, get yourself a job, and at least that way you have a place to lay your head, you have a place to shower, you can get to work on time, and you don't have to worry about it. But no, she'd rather get her hair and nails done and come back and ask every morning. She gets on in the morning and she stays on as long as it takes her to get the hotel room, motel room paid for, and whatever food she wants. Now my question is this: who in here believes that she's not getting food stamps? Correct, Nicole. And I used to say that all the time too. It is not the people who are wealthy on here giving them the money. It's the Social Security granny who thinks, I have some canned food in my closet. Let me send her my bingo money, and at least she'll have food. Not knowing that she's going to do the exact same thing the next day and the next and the next. It doesn't matter how much money she gets. She will have a reason to need more the very next day. Ooh, come on, phone. I'm sorry. Thank you, Larissa Nicole. You're also from Richmond and she could get it. Clearly she can get a job. She's had 4 in the last year. My question is, why can't you keep one? Good morning, good morning. What's the problem, Asia? And then she said something like, when she was working for Amazon, which was, it had to be good money, good hours, right? It's hard work, don't get me wrong, and Amazon isn't the best company in the world to work for, but when you're homeless and unsure where you're going to lay your head, that consistent check is important, and she only technically has to take care of herself. She doesn't have children. It's just her that she's responsible for, right? She said something about she didn't bother to learn the rules about instant termination. So what did you do, Asia, to get fired? And for the other ones, were you fired or did you decide to just walk away because it wasn't fitting, it didn't align with your thought process or whatever? Like, what happened? And with that kind of a reputation on your resume, who wants to hire you after that? What does what mean, ambitious? I don't know what part you're talking about. Good morning, Scam Opera. Thank you guys for liking the live. Every time I change the photo, make sure you like it until you feel the heart's tail. Oh, I hope she doesn't get pregnant. Lord Jesus. I hope not. But I don't want you to break your finger. Your finger get tired, take a break. Oh, the rules. What does that mean, the rules for termination? So, like, let's say you're not supposed to have your phone on the floor. You're not supposed to go live while you're on the premises. You can't steal product. You have a quota in terms of activity expectations every day. They will delineate your responsibilities. They will also delineate their rules. They give you a handbook that you should read at every single job, because sometimes there's a little sentence and a little random paragraph that you miss, and the next thing you know, you're fired. Right, the rules they go over at orientation. She was like, I didn't read them, so I didn't know. Again, there are thousands of people that work at Amazon and have managed not to get fired. So it's not an impossible task. But you can come on here and tell people to separate from their money so that you can live the comfortable life you have decided on. Now, don't get me wrong. Moving from hotel to motel to motel to Holiday Inn, I'm not saying that that is easy. But what I'm saying is it's a whole lot easier to spend somebody else's money than your own that you've earned. She said that she thinks that people are weird for watching someone who is starving. And my note to myself was, we think it's weird that you spend all day begging, expecting people to give you their money while you do nothing other than beg. We find that weird, Asia. We find it weird that you are a young, able-bodied woman and you feel like it's okay to... She was like, I have an interview. Girl, you've had 4 jobs in a year. An interview and a job isn't your problem. It's sticking with one. It's paying attention enough not to get fired. But isn't it convenient that you get the job? So you get the job, and they love to do this. I'm interviewing. I got a job. I just need enough help to get me until I get my first paycheck. And then by the second paycheck, they're back to begging every day because they lost the job. Was it for show? Then she started blocking people who she felt like were just sitting there watching. Again, some people like me are watching for my own purposes, but other people are just watching. And because they're not gifting or sending you money, they deserve to be blocked? And you wonder why I do what I do? Facts, Ambitious. And mind you, she wouldn't do her edges because then it kind of made her hair look messy. She has braids that go all the way down her back. Those are not cheap braids. Not by any stretch of the imagination. And those are acrylic nails put on at a nail salon. Those are not just regular press-ons. But you don't have a job. I know women who work 40, 50, 60 hours a week. And because they have a family to take care of, when's the last time they got their hair braided and nails done? Yeah, okay. Of course that's what she's going to say. Because she knows it looks awful. But what we know is that she got $500 for somebody right before she did it all. But her cousins did it. Okay, why won't her cousin, if her cousins are willing to braid her hair and do her nails, why won't her cousin help her with anything else? Why won't her cousin give her a place to stay until she can get on her feet, even if it's the floor? At least then she's not outside. And bitches, facts. Facts. They always got an excuse. And then she was looking at her analytics and was like, 300 people, oh no, over 300 people have come through here, and I still don't have nothing to eat. It is not a single person on this app's responsibility to see that you eat. Not a single person. But what's she doing with her snap? Right, Nicole. Right. And that's how you know it doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, it's probably not true. Shout out to Judge Judy. Like, ma'am, they spent hours doing your hair and nails, but they not going to help you with breakfast. And bear in mind, for those who weren't here, the breakfast she wanted was homemade fried chicken and macaroni and cheese. She didn't want cereal. She wasn't asking for a pancake plate from McDonald's. And then she was like, Chipotle sounds nice. And she wanted it delivered. We talking $30 off the rip. And that's the cheap end. Mind you, she was talking about blocking, but the number never went down. Then this is what I love. When they put only. I only want 19 to eat. Only? Right, ambitious. Only 19? 19 could put gas in my car. 19 pays for my kids' school all week. 19 could go in my investment portfolio so that when I retire, I flip that 19 into 2,000. Like, ma'am, only 19? Then she said, I don't think I'm going to get it, so I'm going to end the live. Bear something in mind. They do that for two reasons. A, because what they're hoping to do is people like me who are just watching, we think, oh, they're going to end the live, and we leave, and they end up not ending the live. Or they do it because they're trying to get on a different algorithm that will send people their way willing to send money. Then somebody was in the background talking kind of loud. And she was scrunching up her face and acting like she was so disgusted. Ma'am, you're in public. This isn't your private studio. And then someone asked to join her live, and she was like, no free promos. Girl, what promo we getting with 18 people in your live? 18 people, but we're looking for free promo? And she was like, you don't have enough followers as me. Girl, you could have 300,000 followers, but there was only 18 people in there, and about 2 maybe are people who want to follow you for you. Oh, them nails is done. And those nails were beautiful. Let me tell you. I was like, the audacity of thinking that someone would gain something by being in her life. What are they going to gain? What I really think is she didn't want anybody in that box to clock that tea. To ask her questions that would question the lies she tells. And then she just ended. And I wrote, she'll be back. And so then I wrote down, why don't you go to school and get a discernible skill set? Something that employers nowadays are looking for. But no, like I said, it is much easier to just beg on TikTok. And don't get me wrong, begging on TikTok isn't easy. It's easier than having to get up every day and go to work. But you gotta sit here all day and you gotta put up with people questioning you, and you gotta answer questions you don't want to have to answer. And it could take you 18 hours to get the money that you need. It's still easier than going and getting a job, in their opinion. And so then, hold on. Puzzle piece. So then when she came back later on, or I think it was the next day. Yeah, it had to be the next day. Wait, was it? Yeah. Her edges was laid. And I was like, okay, edges laid. Why? She claimed she had an interview that day. I was like, oh, that makes sense. But there was only 8 people in there. And someone came in and said, oh, when I get paid next week, White Sox. Oh. She was like, somebody was like, when I get paid next week, I'm going to send you something. No, she doesn't have any children. It is just her. No kids. Yeah, White Sox in the house. He had to make all that noise and knock the phone over just to go eat. Like, sir, it's a whole room, but you have to come by me and hit the phone over. So that's Asia. And we'll keep watching. What's so crazy is if she needed advice, assistance, there are plenty of people on this app that would help her. There are work from home jobs so that she can maintain a lifestyle of being home. Thank you, Meepers. Oh, White Sox, you were saying hi? He's not talking right now. He's eating. Sorry. Every time. There are plenty of people that could offer her assistance. She only wants to talk to people who are offering her gifts or money. And at the end of the day, the gifts turn into money for her as well. It's just not going to pay for her DoorDash breakfast that day. So you went on an interview. Let's see if you... Yeah, she should get an education. That's what I'm saying. Go to school. Get a skill set. And then you become valuable to employers beyond McDonald's and Wendy's. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about those jobs. How else am I going to get a chili from Wendy's if there isn't somebody there working? But what I'm saying is, you are a bright young lady. Take the natural born intelligence you were given, apply school knowledge. Nothing to stop you. Good morning, Disturbed One. Nothing to stop you. Correct. You can go to school online. And some schools will send you all of the equipment to do it. Do a tech course. If you can handle it, become someone who does, oh goodness, what do you call it? Like that works for a mortuary. They make so much money. If you can handle it, go do it. Go do a 6-month course. Go for medical billing and coding. And they send you the laptop. Facts. But she doesn't want to hear any of that. She might listen if I sent her $500. But then she gonna go do something else. She won't really care about what I'm talking about. Correct, Karina. You do have to have a strong stomach. But obviously people do. And guess what? That business is never going to die. Right, Nicole? That business will always have customers. The same way healthcare will always have customers. Your daughter is doing it while your granddaughter is still a baby, then off to work. Right. I didn't go to college until after I had my son because I had him so early at 19. I still went and got it. It wasn't easy, but I still got it. Right, Nicole? And that's what there are so many of us who have had obstacles in our way and we figured it out. So why can't she? Why can't any of them? Okay. Now I told y'all on Monday morning that I couldn't wait. Right, LPN courses are quick. Yes, please tap, tap, tap. We've changed the photo. Understand, I don't care about the number at the end. I'm just making sure that, because we're going to get reported, and again, it's all about the FYP. And Monday, 51% came from the FYP. I was shocked. There was a moment where FYP was at 0% of the viewers. Okay. So I told y'all I couldn't wait because Monday was supposed to be the day that his check cleared. Now, if y'all remember, last week he was saying that his check was only going to be $800. At that point, you had the check, sir. You had already deposited it. But it turned out that it was 9 something. But because the check was more than what he said, oh, girl, Nicole. By the way, for anybody who's unfamiliar, at the bottom of the magnifying glass, it says that guy, and then at that guy 2420. That is their name and their @ on TikTok, unless I say otherwise. So I tell people all the time, you do not have to believe me. Go watch them yourself. And so I try to provide that for you. Write it down and go watch for yourself. So because the check was 9 something, suddenly the tools became 800. And then he was like, it wasn't a lot of tools, it was just expensive tools. And someone was like, can we see the tools? Crickets. Now, if you are living outside alone, in the woods. Where are the tools, sir? And this was towards the end of the day. So you went and bought the tools and came back to your site. Where are the tools? And this is what I mean. You begged and begged and begged so that you could survive until you got your check. You told everybody your check wasn't going to be worth anything because you had to pay for uniforms and you didn't work for 3 days. And a condition of your employment was to have these tools. And you can't show them to us? He's from Philadelphia or Pennsylvania area. He is in Tennessee right now. The hills of Tennessee, to be exact. Of course he had to have the best ones. And he claimed that he was getting them from a pawn shop. Again, you couldn't show us a hammer. Now, I don't know what tools he got. Because he's now saying that he can make anything. He's a machinist, blah. Show us a hammer. And this is what I mean by, he'll be like, my mods know that I always tell the truth. Were you a mod when he used a maxi pad, the wrong side, the sticky side down, and tried to say he had surgery on his knee? That wasn't a lie, mods? Yup, chickens making... Listen, there have been people in the background making noise. The other day, he was sitting in a chair drinking out of a tumbler. Sitting in front of a mobile home. But you want us to believe that you're homeless. Thank you, Mary. And tell your husband I said, thank you. But show us a tool. Show us the boots. You begged for weeks because you needed boots to get this job. Have anybody seen the boots? A single person. So he says that he has $40 left to his name. And that he had paid $8 for a truck stop shower. And then he had to pay his parole officer $75 of the check, $800 on tools, $8 for the shower, $75 for the probation, and he was left with $40. Can you explain to everybody why you have a lineup and your beard was perfectly shaved? Are you going to say you did that to yourself? Granny, I agree. Of course. Of course that's what would happen. Then he's like, some of my followers are having a hard time and no one should suffer in silence and I'm going to do what I can to help you. Sir, please tell me how you're going to help them other than saying something about it. Then he's like, I'm still worth something to somebody, and I'll push you in the direction to get help. You can't get yourself help. But you're going to push somebody else in the direction to get help? Why don't you send them 20 of the $40 you have? Why don't you send them 30? Because when someone says to you, all I have is $40, but I'll send you 30. Do you say to them, no, if that's your last $40, I don't want it? Why didn't you send them any of your $40? So then he tells everybody that he found a place to live a room for $300 a month, that there would be no utilities or anything, that it's his own room, he'll have shared use of the bathroom and the kitchen and etc., but it's $300 a month. And he starts off by saying, I know I'm not going to get it here, but I might as well try. Then, of course, he adds in that he really needs it because that's the only way he's going to be able to maintain his job. Sir, you've been working for almost a month maintaining the job. So why can't you wait for your paycheck to get the room? Now, I'm not saying it's not a struggle to be homeless, but what I'm saying is, how come all of a sudden him staying where he's been staying is no longer adequate? And now we're at $300. So somebody actually sent him $100. Oh, and let me not leave out that he was smoking as well. Daisy May facts. And then he was like, the place was going to forego the deposit because of his situation. So they're willing to forgo the deposit, but they're not willing to let you stay until you get your check next week? I wonder who would that be? So he claims that he's alone in the woods while he's sitting in a chair rocking back and forth. Then he claims that his arrest from February was no big deal, that it was just misdemeanor shit. It got maybe played down to misdemeanor shit. And then he was like, I was in the car and it wasn't my stuff, but I got charged with it. Okay, Timmy. It's for the exact same thing that you've been having problems with for years. But of course you've been sober for 8 months. Okay. Okay. Now we get the story that he has missed 6 days in the last 30 days. So he knows his next check isn't going to be that good. Well, sir, 3 of those days was from the first check. In the first check, you had to pay for uniforms. In the first check, you had to pay $800 for tools. So at the very least, you should have, what, let's say $900 at your disposal? You could pay for 3 months worth of rent with that. But let's see what happens, y'all. Because the next check, he should have $900 at least at his disposal. So should we expect that by the time you get the next check, you'll no longer need to ask for any money? Can you show us a tool? They're yours. So you could take one tool home and show us, right? Or two, they belong to you, right? But who gave you that fresh shave and haircut? Let me see if I took a picture. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. No, but just so that you see, I did take a picture of her edges getting laid down. Anyway, I didn't. But if you see him today, edge up and beard shaved and lined up as well. Then he said, somebody asked him about getting medical insurance. And he was like, yes, he'll get it at 90 days. Then he said, sticking with that line, that the reason he chose this job in particular and not others he was offered was because this one promised him that even though he had the pre-existing condition of cancer, that they would still cover it, and then he could go see an oncologist and get back in treatment. How many times did he say he wasn't going to do any treatment whatsoever? And that he felt better being off of all of the medications, and he hasn't seen an oncologist since he left Pennsylvania? But now you pick this job because it will cover an oncologist and your medication? It all sounds good in the moment. And when people have no history, they have no timeline to follow to see if this checks out, it sounds good. Right, Granny? He said it a lot. I'm not doing treatment. I refuse to do treatment. I'm so much better without treatment. Blah, blah, blah. His lawyer was a partner in a big firm, and others are on versus can do he was the way. Grinch, I don't understand that. On my faith, the person who loves me the most, Jalen, is on live. But I'm not talking about you today, Jalen. I could, but I'm not. You didn't make the list today, baby. Then he claimed that he's only been homeless for 3 months. 3 months? Sir, I've been watching you way longer than 3 months. What you mean you've been homeless for 3 months? Like, how do they get to rewrite history like that? And again, mods, have you been around? You have to have been around for more than 3 months to be able to say that you know he tells you the truth. And y'all sit there and let him lie like that? Oh, my vitamins are coming today. Yes. Sorry, I just got an alert. So somebody was like, you should come move near me. I think it was a mod. And he was like, oh, I would love to, but I can't. Why would you move if you've just gotten a job? You've just gotten settled. You would move again? And then he shows his finger and he's like, I got this case going on and I can't leave. And I have probation and I can't leave. But nothing about I have a job, I just started. The insurance is going to cover my cancer care. So why would you leave? You just say anything. This was the thing that made me laugh out loud, though. He has a little abrasion of some kind, like on his forehead into his hairline. And his story is that while he was asleep in the woods, in the cut, that some kids, hear me out, some kids found his sleeping space and threw coffee on him. What? First of all, why would kids randomly find you? But okay, let's say they're running through the woods playing. What kids is running around with coffee? What kids is running around with coffee to throw it on you to burn you? Like, be for real. When I told somebody else that story, they busted out laughing too. Like, what? Right. He got beat up at the motel. And then he tells the story about how someone offers to pay for something directly. And he was like, well, with that, somebody paid for the hotel for me, and then because they had the information, they, wanted payback for it, and, I had to call the police and have them arrested and blah, blah, blah. If it happened to you, I'm sorry. But now you understand why women say they'd rather be with a bear. Because men are so unpredictable. Andrea, I believe that one. That or a cigarette. But kids found you in the woods and thought, you know what I should do? I'm going to throw hot coffee on this man's head and let's see what happens. I'm going to need you to try again, sir. I hollered when he told that story. And he keeps telling it. And it's like, again, Maz, how does that make sense? Tell me how that makes sense. Correct. Enjoy life. First, they have to have hot coffee to begin with. What kids? Oh, thank you, Granny. That's so beautiful. I love that one. First of all, it gotta be kids who have coffee. Second, they had to stumble across you. Third, they had to think to themselves, you know what would be a good idea? To pour coffee on a homeless person sleeping in the woods. Did you call the police? Where's the police report? Because good morning, Samuel. If it was the case, they had to be kids from the area for the coffee to still be hot enough to burn your forehead, so they would be in the vicinity, right? So why you ain't call the cops? Oh, you know why? Good morning. You know why? Because it's illegal to be homeless in the state, so he couldn't call. Y'all, I don't even feel like I'm creative enough to come up with some of these stories. Oh, God. And then he was like, once he gets to medical, he will see an oncologist and start treatment again. So he's using dietary means in the meantime. Then he says, hey, Granny Annie, he has a phone call with TennCare tomorrow at 2 p.m. to see if they can help him in the meantime. How many times have you told us that TennCare has denied you 1,000,000 times? And now you want me to believe that now that you've gotten a job that's going to offer you insurance, now TennCare is going to help you? Yeah, Daisy May, he does. But he didn't stay away from them when he supposedly was pressured into doing something he didn't want to do at the hotel. The police got called. Yeah, he claims that he had an appointment at 2 p.m. to be on the phone to see if he could get TennCare. Yeah, he is in Tennessee. He's in the hills of Tennessee. Of course, yeah, he was live. I'm talking about a couple days ago. That was Tuesday. I mean, today is Wednesday, so why am I writing down Wednesday? Girl, please forgive me. That had to have been Monday. Because on Tuesday, he came back. Was it Tuesday or was it the same day? Hold on. No, it must have been the same day. I don't know. I'm sorry. Because I have so many notes about him, and I messed up the days, so I'm not exactly sure what's what. But he came on, and now he wants a hotel room because how hot it is. Now, mind you, he had already gotten $100 for someone. Correct, fuck it. How are you not going to get 10K when you weren't working? They kept denying you according to you. And now making $23 an hour. And you've already gotten a paycheck. Because they look at the last 30 days. Now you're going to get it. Believe me when I tell you he's had it the whole time. So he has to play that role because remember, he's been begging for medication. On 10Care, he wouldn't have had to pay for the medication at all. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I need to go back for a second. So when he talked about using dietary in the meantime, he mentioned a number of things that would have required that he pay cash for. Where did he get the cash? Thank you. Thank you guys for all the gifts if I missed them. I appreciate them all. Where is he getting the money to have all of these supplements? He called one, and did I write it down? I forgot what it was called, but where are you getting? He called whatever he said. He said it's natural chemo. Where are you getting the money for that? Pow root, is that what it was called? I didn't write it down. But anyway, that again, explain to me where the money came from for you to do that. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Good morning. Oh, he mentioned it a lot of times. Again, can somebody do a quick Walmart search and tell me how much papaya root would be? He already had it. He already had what? Yeah, from the... So he was complaining about how hot it was in Tennessee. And he had a Dr. Pepper. And again, he's sitting in the chair rocking back and forth. Where'd you get a chair from? But you couldn't afford a tent. Come on now. Then he's trying to figure out a hotel room before the big storms come. There's always an excuse. Yes, they do, Fluffy. But he needs an address to have it shipped to. And I love this statement where they'll be like, I gotta figure out how to get a hotel room. And it's like they're looking off in the sky like, I'm just going to have to figure it out. What are you going to do to figure out other than to come to TikTok and beg? Like, what are you going to do to figure it out? Because if you could have figured it out already, we wouldn't be here. Oh, thank you, Donna. Yeah, somebody look up papaya root and give me a price. Wait, oh, it's about $6 a bag for powder form. Has anybody heard him ever ask for money to get papaya root? I have heard that he has children. I have also heard, yes, he's lying about the cancer. I have also heard that he doesn't have children. I've never heard him mention children, so I don't know one way or another. Yeah, the book of scams. He could have a book. Yeah, he's lying about the cancer. He said that he's had open heart surgery multiple times. It's around 11 on Amazon. Okay, thank you. Never heard him ask for it. Never, not once. Of course Tennessee has resources. There would be a big scar on his chest. And I've taken, unfortunately, multiple photos of his chest. Ain't a single scar. That's right. That's right, Texas T. You are correct. I am mistaken. He did talk about his daughter while he was working at the vape shop. 110%. And what he said, he was so proud of himself because while he was doing well, which I will admit he was, he reestablished a relationship with that daughter and was helping her out as much as he could. You are correct. You are correct. Yeah, you would have big scars. And what hospital, after a procedure on your leg, he claimed that the hospital ran out of like gauze and all of that to cover it. What nurse or doctor or tech or janitor would say, oh, you have an open wound or stitches? I'm going to take a maxi pad and put it sticky side down. And I do have that photo. I'd have to find it, but I have it. What person, what cook, what lab assistant, who in the hospital, at any position, the administrator with no medical experience at all would think, you know what, the way to cover it and keep that safe is to put the maxi pad on the leg, sticky side down. So when his mods get up there and agree that he always tells the truth and he's always open, you have to be new or you yourself are lying. Yeah, I know. Chill, absolutely not. I am absolutely not going live more frequently. Absolutely not. For all of the scammers who say you must not have a life, I actually do. Mister is off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Some weeks and some weeks it's just Tuesday and Wednesday. Oh, you missed me? Thank you. I appreciate it. But there is no way I am going live more. Like, plus I have to watch them to have somebody to talk about. Correct. Nikki is there faithfully. Yup, I know. And so you are willfully pretending to be ignorant to his nonsense so he continues to get money from somebody. And now he's promoting that you're having a problem. Is that why we're being loyal, Nikki? Because hopefully the people who give him money might give you money too. Now, I don't know what her problem is, and I don't know if it's factual or not. But I'm going to need you to stop pretending like he always tells the truth and he's this open book when we have caught him in lie after lie after lie. Yeah, his accessory. Facts. So remember, somebody sent him $100. It had to be, today's Wednesday, so it had to be Monday. Somebody sent him $100. He still didn't go get a hotel room. But he spent 10 of it. He just never said. So he was like, he said I still have 90. So 90 plus 40 is 130. And he only, no, I'm sorry, 100 plus 40 is 140, and he said he had 90 left. So what did you spend $50 on? But you're still outside. What? $40? No, $50 worth at the truck stop? Absolutely not. Oh no, that's the other Tim. I have so many notes, y'all. I mean, they are killing me. So we're still. Oh, and this is my other question, Tim. How are you home when you're supposed to be at work? Yeah, Samuel. That's what I mean. You was home early Thursday. You didn't work Friday. You were home early Monday, begging. And now you were home on Tuesday early, begging? When are you at work, sir? When are you at work? So we'll see, y'all. I can't wait for the next payday. And this is the thing. He had a momentary. There was clarity for a moment. Now, I can't say that he was 100% clean at the time, but he looked better. He sounded better. He didn't mention cancer while he was working at that shop. He was proud of the car he had. He had stable living. And then literally it was like one thing after another happened. But it all happened very quickly. And he has been on a downward spiral since. And the way he looked while he worked at that vape shop in comparison to now is drastically different. It's like a Lisa decline. Sherry, are you here? I thought I saw her. Wait, he beat 2 of the 4 charges in court. Chrissy, probably what happened was he played down. So, for instance, the gentleman, what was it, Brian Kohlberger, who was charged with the unaliving of those 4 college students, to save his life, he pled guilty so that the most he could get was life in prison. Most cases are solved not because of a trial, but because people plead. And when you plead, or when you agree to a plea, you are either doing it so that you don't go to trial and face the harder consequences, so that the prosecutor or the defense lawyers will go to the other side and say, listen, if he pleads guilty, we'll drop these 2 charges, he'll just have these 2 charges as misdemeanors, and he'll have probation, he doesn't have to go to jail. It's going to be a little while. Fuck it, it's going to be a minute. So that's how it works. So you beat 2 of the 4 cases when you go to trial. Prior to a trial, it's a negotiation. A completely different thing. So, don't want to hear it. Let's see. Let's do Maggie now, because if you haven't seen it, and I forgot to write down the name, but there are a series of videos taken from Maggie's live. And when people say, how is it hurting? I have always said that it is going to end up putting Maggie in situations she doesn't have any business being in. She's going to get hurt, or other people are going to get hurt. Maggie's going to face the consequences, and it's because people thought they were helping her. So we all know Maggie didn't pay for it. The people in her chat paid for her to go to an event, which was a Trey Songz, I call it like a mini concert, because it was just in a club. It wasn't like in a stadium or anything like that. Those are the numbers he's pulling. No problem. People paid for her to go, paid for her to get there, paid for her to eat, probably paid for her to drink, and paid for her to come home. They gave her enough money for all of that. And I'm not sure if they gave her money for VIP or not. Some people were saying she paid for VIP, and other people were saying like she just got a ticket. But anyway, in Maggie's mind, she knows Trey Songz. And she claims that during the concert, like he called her out, like he wanted to see her backstage. That is Maggie's recollection. So at the end of the night, she goes to the door where, they let people come backstage, and they weren't letting Maggie in. And so obviously Maggie got upset. And they were trying to tell her Trey Songz left. And I was telling you guys that they have a car waiting. The car that brings them stays there the entire time and is ready for them when it's over. I don't know if he did a meet and greet or not. He might have jumped right in the car and left. Sometimes they leave because they have another show somewhere else and they got to get there. Sometimes they do a big meet and greet. Sometimes it's a small one. And just so that you understand, I traveled with a very famous comedian for several years. I know how it works. I'm not going to reveal who, because it's nobody's business. But I traveled with a very famous comedian for several years while they were on tour. Yeah, she kept saying she was called back. She was called back. But other people who were there the entire life said no, she wasn't. So then she claims that workers there pushed her down, or she fell, or whatever the case may be, and she starts saying, I'm going to sue you, and she's going off.
My phone is connected and charging.
She's going off, and she's cursing, and she's yelling, and she's threatening people. Yeah, I'm about to call her Gabby. Maggie, who are you going to beat up? You met Wayne Gretzky. Who are you going to beat up? She was sweating profusely because she was mad. And it was hot. And they recognize, they probably know her, because this happened in her town. But they recognized that she was upset, and they were trying to be civil. Kind is a step too far. They were trying to be civil. And they were like, he left. We're trying to tell you he left. He's not seeing anybody. Like, most people would be like, dang, and walk away. And they said, look, she said it too, but she's leaving. And Maggie's like, oh yeah, she got a photo and she was shaking her ass and blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Maggie, if Trey Songz said you could come back and then later changed his mind, that's not the people in security's fault. If he wanted you back there, it's really easy to send somebody to say, okay, I want to see her. But Maggie is used to pushing and bullying her way into what she wants. It's what she does on TikTok. And you guys acquiesce every time and give her the money and tell her she's okay and tell people to mind their business. And then she goes in public and she acts that way. She then is pushed towards outside. She says she has to go to the bathroom. And they're just like, oh my God. Mind you, there was somebody in the box who kept giggling like it was funny. If this wasn't Maggie's real life, it might be funny. But it wasn't funny. So I joined the live, and we're talking at like 2 something in the morning. This wasn't 8 or 9 o'clock. This was 2 something in the morning. I finally joined the live. The workers, whether they were security or not, they were all dressed head to toe in black. So they worked for the club. I'm sure some of them were security. Maggie is still outside ranting and raving, threatening to not. Now, this man that she was talking to was probably 6'3", 6'4", huge black dude. And she's like, I'll knock you over. Something like being big and falling hard. And then she's talking to the one talking about she gonna rip her dreads out. Now, they stayed calm probably because they didn't want to lose their job. But my question is, why was it funny to watch her act like that? Now, there were some people who were like, Maggie, stop it. Maggie, figure out a way home. Calm down. You're doing too much. But if one of those young ladies or the man decided, F it, I don't care, I don't got nothing to lose, and popped her in the mouth one time good, everybody would be in an uproar. But yet, it's okay for her to speak to people like that? She probably did it because she knows that they're workers and they would have something to lose. But y'all keep letting her think that her popping off on TikTok and Instagram is the way to act in public. You can't mute somebody in real life, but they can easily mute you, Maggie. You're out there with your walking stick, and somebody could just be sick and tired of hearing your mouth and pop you in it. And then the whole audience of TikTok is going to be upset and call the police and this, that, and the third. What happens when somebody does that to her? A lot of people would have popped her in the mouth. But y'all find it funny. This is this woman's real life. By the way, she has a backup on TikTok. Right. Fuck it. She is heading for disaster. Whether it be financially with SSI or food stamps or housing or the IRS, something is coming. Or you have the other side where she feels like the way she acts and talks to people on social media, where it's behind the screen. Nobody, I'm all the way in Florida. Her talking crap to me isn't going to mean anything for real. But she is taking that same nasty attitude, dismissive, rude, aggressive attitude out in public. Because y'all laugh at it on TikTok. Y'all laugh at it on Instagram. You guys are setting her up for failure. And when it happens, what are y'all going to say? Are you going to say that that's our fault? Are you going to try to say we sent somebody to do something to her? Why would we? It'll be her own mouth. But her backup on TikTok is Cupcake with three Ks. KUPKAKE 198743. Can a mod pin it? It's KUPKAKE. So cupcake with K's. And then it's 1987 and the number 43. Thank you for the gifts. That's her backup on TikTok. And now for some reason she wants to focus on building that account, probably because her main account has gotten some violations lately. Thank you very much. Can somebody pin Shell's comment, please? Oh, wait, maybe I can. Yep, I can. Okay, there we go. I believe that that's the @ and the name is Cupcake 1987. So I don't know when she's going to go live on there, but just have it in the background. Because that may be where she's going. And when she went live yesterday, she wanted $19 for a bill to get paid, $30 for DoorDash, and after that, she was going to need another $70. And when people were like, what's the bill? She was like, it's none of your business. Again, you want us to pay your bills, but we can't know what bill it is that we're paying? I'm going to need you to try again, young lady. Y'all have let her get out of control. And all I'm going to do is sit back and watch the ride. That's it. Let's get this one out the way as well. She started at 5 o'clock this morning. One day, she is with Nate. The next day, she's asking for money to leave him. The next day, she's asking for an Uber ride to get to her parents, who we all know do not want her. She can't use his Chime anymore. So now she done found somebody's CA to use. You are nuts to let her use your CA. You are nuts. As I said the other day, here is an olive branch to anybody that she quote unquote called a friend because you were giving her money. I don't care how much money you've given her in the past. Let's just stop now. Let her dox you. We don't care. She is not going to stop until you guys stop. Please stop being intimidated by her. I don't care if you live in the Philadelphia area. What is she really going to do to you? She's going to get on TikTok and claim to want to dox you. But when you take that power away from her and dox yourself, that pisses her off because then she has no more leverage. Again, here is the olive branch. Go to anybody that you trust on this side of the aisle and just say, I'm done. This is what I've been giving her because I felt obligated to. I felt like I was a friend. I felt like I was helping her. I wanted to piss off awareness. Because that's why a lot of them do it. Because they think they're pissing us off. I lose no sleep because you send her money. I promise. I promise. I don't lose a wink of sleep. I actually pity you. I pity you that you feel obligated to take care of someone in active addiction. I pity you. But lose sleep about it, get mad about it, be angry about it. You have missed it. You're going to have to come up with some more adjectives, but being worried about it is off the chain. Turn around. Because we're not there. So again, here's the olive branch. Please take it and get off of the roller coaster of Lisa. Until you stop, she's not going to. And as long as she's still getting money, people are going to feel like it's a good idea. Please stop. She says that her other accounts are under appeal, so she might be back there. But right now she's using Lisa Richard OXXO. She claims that she told people that she was on Trank because somebody offering her money asked her that, and she was like, fine, I'll say I'm on Trank, because if that's what you need me to say to get the money, that's what I'll do. People, please stop paying her to get her to say stuff if that's in fact. I don't know if that's true or not, but please stop. She will say anything for $1. Anything that gets her closer to Ruggs, she's willing to. Remember when she revealed that she would come on live and do all of that raging because that's what Kim wanted her to do? Or she would lie, the lie that Kim wanted her to tell so she could get money? Lisa will say and do anything to get it. She doesn't have any relationship with the truth at all. It's like she gets near the truth and that's her kryptonite. Cat Mommy, we have tried 50 million different ways to stop the views, but people want to see the crash and burn. Some of her accounts were bananaed for a while, and she's appealing it. She claims that she's only doing methadone, but that the methadone is making her sleepy, and she's never felt that way before, but she thinks it's related to her weight because she's on the same methadone amount she's always been on, but she refuses to go down. Now, how can methadone be making you so sleepy if you're walking all the way there and walking all the way back? Could it be the walk that's making you sleepy? Because we know you're getting money. This whole I haven't eaten in so long, clearly at this point is a choice of yours. Because you've been getting money this whole entire time. Leslie Johnson, please send me proof of that. Right, she's been on that dose 20 years. I don't believe she's going to the clinic either, but I'm not going to stand on that and say she got kicked out until I see proof. You did? Yes, Granny 351, you can send me a message on here. She might have been kicked out for recording, but they wouldn't stop her methadone. They may make her wait 3 days or something. Well, she claims she's walking. She walks, she's constantly walking. You know, the bridge returned. And she was literally walking in a circle. She was kicked out. She tested for Ruggs. Well, anybody that could show me any proof of that, I'd appreciate it. She does. She walks in circles constantly. She is able to walk. Remember all the whole, I can't walk there, it's too far, it's too far. Her sister said 1,000,000 times it was a 10-15 minute walk. Someone said she got kicked out for 30 days. I believe it. She should have been kicked out longer. Then she talked about how Nate had to change his number. Girl, people can only do what you give them the information to do. You gave somebody Nate's number because you were looking for money. If you weren't acting so desperate, people wouldn't know what they know. If you weren't so slow, you would have remembered to turn off the live or pause it before you used his key to get into his home. She acts like we don't see what we see or we don't hear what we hear. Wow, that's crazy. TikTok tells you some crazy things in the background. It just said this person didn't complete the Go Popular mission. Let them know so that they can do it. And let them know that they'll get a bonus points. Like, TikTok, you are doing too much. So Lisa's gonna be Lisa. Oh, that was easy. Okay. So she's back. I'm not even gonna give her a lot of time. She's back and she was looking for $55 to help pay the electric bill to her roommate. Don't you pay rent? Don't you pay rent? Then all somebody did was say, I like your hair, and she immediately went off the rails. And the person was like, no, I actually like your hair. And she was like, oh, I get teased a lot that it's a toupee. Girl, grow up. She claims she has a doctor's appointment tomorrow to get her heart checked out. My question is, if you have somewhere to live, why are you now always in the car asking for money? Hi, honey bun. I see you. Everybody say hi to Mr. Didi. He's in here, watching and lurking. Thank you for supporting me, baby. I appreciate it. Why is she in the car begging for money? There he goes. If you guys like to watch gaming, he games at night. There him is. Anyway, why can't you show us where you are? And the dogs are clearly somewhere because they weren't in the live when she was in there. The dogs weren't in the car. Why are you back to only asking for money from your car? That doesn't make sense to me. That's weird. Sorry, guys. I got distracted. So then people, and again, I don't know why people tell people, oh, somebody is streaming you, somebody is streaming you. And she was like, just report it. Just report it. Girl, we are streaming you for a reason. Now, I personally don't do that on my page, but there's a reason. You and your mods are liars and block happy. And anybody that asks you anything that might reveal even the slightest lie gets blocked. So the only way for people to watch you is to stream you. Because y'all are block happy. You act like you have no fear, you don't care. Why can't anybody just ask you or step to you or because y'all block everybody that does. I love that. They be like, oh, why don't you come in here and say something? Because we're blocked. And then she did the other red flag, add this to the list. I'll try to figure something else out. What you mean? Come back later and beg for it again? That's the something you're going to figure out? Why isn't the figure out when you get your paycheck? Because according to you, you still have your job, right? And wait, it's the 9th. You have about a week before you can start the stay-at-home job that's supposed to be a second job to the first one? Jordan, please. Just make sure you're feeding the dog's gravy train. And let's knock this one out the way too. So she's back. And she is a scammer. She is a scammer. And I stand 10 toes down on that. How is she scamming? She is selling nails that you literally could get off the TikTok shop for $20 or less. That you can get on Temu or Shein for $5 or less. And she's selling them for $80 to $100. She actually had a set where it was the nails and the toenails for like $140, $160, $1 something. Are you serious? And this is what was crazy about it. Let me find the notes because you know I got them. Oh, here they go. She was doing it because she needed $580 in less than 24 hours to pay for their weekly rent. And she's like, it's the cheapest place we could find. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. They have a standard of living. $580 is the cheapest? Girl, why do you think she won't go live from there? Because it's not the cheapest. Right, fluffy like a marshmallow or one across the street. Why aren't you going live from the hotel, ma'am? Why is it always the car? You used to go live from the house. But I promise you, that hotel, it's not a motel. Let's put it that way. It's not a motel. And you have like, what, 6 pairs of nails? And you expect to get almost $600 from 6 pair of nails? And she's like, look at how thick they are. I couldn't even see the thickness. Mind you, she's like, I worked on these nails, right? But she claims that if you take a picture of your nail next to, what is it, a nickel or a quarter, she can size you properly. So that means that I'm going to send you the $100, $120, whatever it is, and then you have to remake the nails and then send them to me. Somebody got in and was like, I'm still waiting for my nails, and they blocked them immediately. And the words out of her mouth was, no, I didn't. I've never sold you nails before. How would you know? How would you know? You didn't even leave the comment up, or your people didn't even leave the comment up long enough for me to write it down. So how would you know if you sent it to them or not, if they were a customer or not? That is a scammer, because somebody who is in real business would be like, send me a message and I'll look it up. Even if you suspect that they're lying, what you want to show the rest of your clientele is that you would take it seriously. We have hundreds of people who have made videos about her, about how terrible the nails are, about how weak they are, about how they're not what, or that what they got was what she showed them. They didn't get some unique set of nails. They will show she bathes in spray tan, okay? She's not dirty. She literally bathes in suntan lotion. And so when she shows the nails, sometimes you can see the residue on the packaging she uses. And guess what people get? Dirty packaging. Because she hasn't done anything to make it your finger width specific. Now, a lot of people have the kind of nails that they fit them no matter what. I, on the other hand, have a wide width nail bed. So I always have to ask, what is your zero? Because a lot of zeros don't fit my finger. So what a lot of companies have now done is they do like 15 sizes now. You get all 15, and they know that within those 15, you'll have it. She has 5 nails for each hand, and that's it. Right. She doesn't provide extra. She doesn't even do like 12 nails. You get 5 and 5 for over $100. You could go to the nail salon and get it. Does she even provide glue and an alcohol swab and the thing that you push your cuticles back with? At least I get that for a 99-cent pair from Temu. Oh, sometimes she'll send the glue. Like, come on. She has no business acumen at all. At all. And is she filing her taxes? Does she have a business registered somewhere? We need to look that up. Does anybody know the name of her business? Because with it, people could absolutely make a complaint to the Bureau Scamaras. Facts. Temu Nails. What? No, she needs to be called the Temu of Temu Nails. You know how we'd be like, oh, that's Temu Wi-Fi? No, she is Temu of Temu. Be for real. Lord, we might go over 9:30 today, y'all. Mods, if y'all have to go, I understand. Wait, let's see. We did her, him, her, him, her. Let's get to it. Now, If you guys have been around for any length of time, you know that when Josh and Ida was begging for the $600 for their electric bill, and they are the ones who claim that they provide proof, but it is so garbled up that you don't actually know if it's proof or not. So they'll wave a bill in your face but never show it. Or they'll say that it's electronic notification, but they'll never show the whole thing. So their version of proof was to take something that said, Dear Mr. Josh, whatever the last name is, then a line from any letter known to man that says you owe 600 and something dollars, and then something at the bottom that says thank you and the name of the company. And just those three things are posted so that that's supposed to be proof. There is absolutely a way to cover up. You take a picture of the notice. You cover up the address and the account number. You cover any other personal information, and you show us the entire letter. Why can they never do that? They can never show us actual proof. And then when they pay it, do they show proof? Now we find out that the truth of their job is that she is the one getting paid to take care of the mother-in-law, and he is getting paid to drive her. Now my question is this: does she go somewhere every day? Because then what, Josh, you're working 2-3 days out the week? And now it makes perfect sense why every time they need to beg, they're home. They always manage to be home on the days they need to beg. And I never understood how that was possible. Well, now we know. Now we know. Now, it is legitimate work to take care of a family member who needs care. That's legitimate. And the state, federal, whatever agency that pays that, it is a real thing. And I think caregivers deserve it. Because being a caregiver is hard work. When are they doing it? Because every time I turn around, they're live. Especially when they need something. And they're battling. And they're gaming. When are you at work? And what I find interesting is when they were asking for the $600 and they claimed they were both going to get paid, it was different days. Like she was getting paid on the 14th, he was getting paid on the 19th. Made it sound like they were working for two totally different things under two totally different payment arrangements. And last night it was, we get paid on the 15th. Now, they promised to pay people back after they got the electric bill money. Why? Because they had it. They were getting paid. It just happened sooner than they were expecting. Did they pay anybody back? No. Of course, the claim was people told us they didn't want the money back. They were just helping us. So now, you have $600 extra. Because you didn't pay anybody back. What did you do with that money? What did you do with that money? Because the next thing we know, you're back asking for $1,200 because you have to move in a very fast way. That while you were given warning, you weren't expecting it, and now you gotta move, and the only place you can move to that you can afford needs the money immediately. Whoever gives the money first gets the place. Well, by the time I caught up, it was $325. Now, I don't know if they had gotten that much money or if they reduced it. But it was $325 by the time I got there. Now, I didn't stick around long enough to see if they got it or not. I have no idea. And now they're begging for $100 because she needs cab fare back and forth because the car isn't working. And we know the mom's car blew up a few weeks back, like legitimately caught on fire while they were in it. Did they show proof that the car didn't work? Did anybody go outside and try to turn the car on and show everybody what was wrong? Absolutely not. And what they'll say is, we don't owe you proof. You guys are trolls. How about prove it to the people in the chat? Forget me. You don't got to prove jack diddly squat to me because I'm not going to believe you. So, no problem. You don't have to show me a single thing. But how about show the people who you're asking for it from? But this is what I love. So way back when they were asking for the electric bill, he said, when I get the money, after I get the money, I'll be willing to have a conversation with any of you trolls. Now, I had asked to get in the box before he got the money, and he told me I didn't say before, I said after. After I get the money, I'll talk to you. Okay, cool. Well, after they got the money, they started talking about, well, not even after. Before they got the money, they were asking us, how come we don't cover Beth and Devin and Detroit? People who ask for the money to do rugs. The people who are really scamming you. And we all know when somebody says Beth's name, she is coming out the woodwork. And now they want to claim that Beth and Devin talked about them first. No, they didn't. You started that. Then you held a live and let Beth and Devin get dragged for filth. And then, of course, Beth and Devin aren't going to lie down. So they went back and forth. A scammer calling out another scammer. Please be for real. And it disappointed me that people who bring awareness to Beth and Devin took the opportunity to go into another scammer's live just because they don't like Beth and Devin that much. I was flabbergasted. So now we take any opportunity, we get in bed with the devil to call out the other devil? I was shocked. But people are allowed to do what they want on this app wherever they want to do it. It's none of my business. But that was my feeling about it. But okay, what's done is done. Then, after they did 2 lives about Beth and Devin, they were like, we're going to do Detroit Nike next. Again, you just got $600 for an electric bill, and you want to call somebody else out asking for money? Brandy's bossy, it's crazy. So they never got to Detroit as far as I'm concerned. But what was also not even interesting, what was also sad was that as soon as they got the money and they came home, of course, they paid the electric bill because the electric was quote unquote back on. Again, they never showed proof that they owed it. They never showed proof that they paid it. But now they're back home. And what does Ada do? She doesn't come on and go, I want to thank everybody and talk about how much of an impact it had on their life and how they're going to figure it out so it doesn't happen again. No, she came back on battling. Now, while battling is sanctioned on TikTok, although I think it's just sanctioned begging, you mean to tell me that the $600 that you got tax-free, for free from people wasn't enough? You wanted more of their money? By battling? That is the sign of the ultimate disrespect. I don't give a kitty that you just got my lights turned back on, which again tells me, was that really the reason? Because you didn't have any humility about it. You didn't have any real, truthful thankfulness about it. The very next thing you thought of was, well, let's get some more gifts. Even though you are now going to be sitting on $600 that you don't need to pay back, let's thank everybody by battling. Okay, cool. So I wait for a little bit, and eventually I go in, and I'm like, you've gotten the money. Can I have a conversation with Josh? And this is Ida. What are you talking about? I would remember that if I said, go get Josh. I don't remember him saying that, and I would have remembered something like that. Do you think that I'm going to come to your page and make that up? Because all I would have had to say was, can I speak to Josh? I wouldn't have needed to make up a story that he said we would have a conversation. Like, really? So, of course, she doesn't come and she just, I don't believe it. And I came here and I told y'all, are y'all serious? Because I told y'all at the time that they said it. And I, of course, have documentary proof because I have my lives. But okay, cool. You're not going to let me up? No problem. And what I find super interesting, and I said this to you guys a couple of days ago, this is your live that you have control over. You can mute me. You can drop me from the box. Why are you afraid to let me in the box? Thank you, Becky Beanies. Why are you so afraid to let me in you? I can understand maybe being afraid of coming in mine, because I have my people here and I have control of the situation. Why are you so afraid of letting me in yours? Y'all have all the answers, right? Y'all doing everything on the up and up, right? There shouldn't be a question that I ask that you can't answer. So why are you so afraid of me? I'm a simple woman. And everybody knows that when I go into a box, I'm respectful. Because this is the thing. My intellectual acumen allows me to have a conversation without needing to curse and yell and hoop and holler. Can I do those things? Ask Mr. Didi. Of course I can. I could go toe to toe with anybody. Don't make me angry. But I don't see the need to do that because that misses the point. What everybody will be focused on is how I acted and not what I said. So I don't do that. I stay incredibly calm. Yes, with the scammers. Good morning. I don't go off the deep end. For what? So they could be like, look at how the trolls act. I'm not going to give you anything. So why are you afraid of me? You always have all this bluster about how we talk about you, but we won't come in there and say anything. Well, I've given you multiple opportunities. So this is what happened last night. I go in when I see them asking for $100. Now I can watch from the window. I can watch from a burner. I can watch other people streaming you. I could watch a recording of it later on YouTube. But no, I go in as shadow. I'm immediately blocked. He don't even say nothing. He just blocks me off the rip. Now, why would you need to do that? If you're doing nothing wrong, if you're not begging for the 50th time, if I have been in the other lives and have never been disrespectful, not once, you can't pull up a single disrespectful thing that Digital has said in any of your lives. Why did you block me? Immediately. I already knew that you were asking for $100 for cab fare. So I'm like, oh, maybe that was a mistake. So I go in as expose. Like, that had to be a mistake. He must have meant to hit somebody else and not me. And he blocked me immediately. As if I didn't already have a burner in there watching. So then, of course, Ada starts talking crap. Like, why are they in here? What do they want? Blah, blah, blah. You know what I want. I want a conversation. You know exactly what I want. A conversation. But you want to know why they've decided that they don't want me in there and they don't want a conversation with me? Because they know that I either have the notes or the memory to drag them. Respectfully, of course. And they do not want people in their chat to know what I know. And what I know is simply what you've done on this app. I don't have to talk about anything else. You scam on the app. You lie on the app. You dry beg on the app. You fail to show proof on the app. I don't need to go real life. You expose yourself every time you go live. And there aren't enough block buttons to block me from being able to watch you. So block away, baby. You don't know where I am and what I'm doing. And even if you blocked every account I had, I can still watch it on YouTube later, baby. So have at it. Block me. It's not going to stop a single thing. But what I can say, I'm not going to say. Answer the question, why are you afraid of me? Oh, chill, I'm not done. We at 9:10, but I'm not done. Right, Erica, where there's a will, there's a way. You're not afraid of the conversation. You're not blocked over here. And I know some of your fans and sycophants are going to run over there and tell you I'm talking about you. But you probably already know that because you knew when you blocked me that that was going to pique my interest. Let me just tell you. This guy, Nate, Forever Friends 86, I just happened to go in there. I didn't say a word, and he blocked me immediately. Guess what, Nate? You have just been added to the list. Thank you. Tanya, don't be afraid of me, honey. I'm kind. I'm nice. I'm even nice to the scammers. Let's be for real. I am never rude or nasty. Never. I know you're not. But Nate, You've just made the list. And I already have what I want to say about you on Friday. But I'm going to keep watching in the meantime because you're just going to give me more ammunition. I love when they wrap themselves in the Bible. It turns me on, as they say. Thank you. So that's all you've done is turned up the heat. Blocking me is the worst thing you could do. That's the worst thing you could do. Because for me, that is 3 red flags in one. Especially when you don't know me. I've never talked about you. I've never been in a live of yours. And the first thing you do is block me? Well, thank you very much. You've already told me everything I need to know. Do you know how many lives I go in and they don't even pay attention? Or they'll be like, hi, digital deceiver shadow. Like they're confused by the name, but it doesn't relate to them. They don't connect any dot. But the scammers do. They catch it immediately. All of them. But then they're friends with my burners. You gotta love it. Then, wait a minute. Ada says she is pretty sure that our life is worse than hers. How? How can you be sure of that? My man doesn't sit on TikTok and beg for money and cover himself in God and say God said that who doesn't act shall not eat. He quotes the whole Bible because he knows it. He doesn't pretend to take care of his mother so he can get paid. He takes care of his mother and has a full-time job. He didn't quit his job to game when he became affiliate. He still works a full-time job. When I met him, he worked 3 jobs, 2 of them full-time. The man slept by napping. What do you mean you're pretty sure my life is worse than yours? On my worst day, you won't catch me on TikTok begging for an electric bill. I don't need to. I'm able to pay my bills. Thank you. How would you have any idea about my life when you aren't willing to even have a conversation with me? Not a simple one. Then she said, you act like it's against the law to ask for help. It's not. Of course it's not. Needing help isn't what's against the law. In fact, you being on here asking for it isn't against the law. But are you paying taxes on your income from TikTok, Ida? Because that would be against the law. If you're not reporting all of this, are you reporting it to the food stamp office? Because that would be against the law. You guys have an excuse for why you need money every time we turn around. And when you promised to stop this, you promised to stop it. You've come right back. What do you mean everybody has problems sometimes? You are right. You guys have problems all the time. There's a difference. And then I asked the question, is anybody going to get paid back this time? So that you have cabs to go back and forth to work? Oh no, you're going to need the money you earned to fix the car that people paid for so you could have it. You didn't even pay for the car, and now you want us to pay so that you could go to work so you could fix the car that was given to you by TikTok. At what point do you take care of your own family, Josh? And if the job you have isn't enough, get another one. But begging on TikTok ain't it. So all that you say, all of the things you try to say about us, all the we're trolls, we're haters, all of it, keep going. It's not going to stop me. Because you know what I say. If you don't feed me, fund me, or fuck me, your opinion of me doesn't matter. Call me a troll, call me a hater, call me whatever you want. I do not care. Of course you're stressed out. Because you don't know what to do for the next bag. The next bag, excuse me. You don't know. Yeah, that's the only time I'll drop that, Erica. But it's required for that statement. So, Ida and Josh, y'all are not blocked over here. You want to have a conversation? Come get in my box. Come get in my box. Facts. What good is a man who stays but can't feed his family? Why don't you read the scriptures about what being a good husband is? Ida, there's scriptures about what being a good wife is. You want me to find them for you and send it to you? CLA, that's absolutely fine. Exactly. Stressed about what to beg for today. And not have to show proof. And that's their act if you want to go watch them for yourself. But just know that they're quick to block. And don't ask them a simple question. Like, can we see the bill? So, because Angela doesn't feel like she needs to have any participation in getting the money that they ask for, even though she benefits from it, I'm just going to start calling this account Tim. Because Angela does nothing. Did you get your 6 a.m. text message, even though I don't go live until 6:30? At least be intellectually honest and say you got up at 6:30 with me, Tim and Angela. I don't go live at 6. So how you get a text message at 6 in the morning? You didn't get a message. You're up with me, waiting for your turn. And what I love is he tries to act like he's never the one there. Somebody sent me a message. Somebody sent me a video. Somebody sent me a text message. They don't have to send you a text message about me, Tim. Everybody knows what time and what day I go live. I got a text message at 6 in the morning. I don't go live at 6 in the morning. So what did they text you for? To say, get ready? She's getting ready to go live at 6:30? Shall buy. Once they figured out that they could use TikTok as an ATM on demand. And I think that a lot of them start off like with the right intention. Like, boom, I'm in a bind. Let me see if I can get some help. And it comes so easily that they don't know how to stop. They don't want to stop. And what cracks me up is, so he comes live yesterday. His wife is walking through Walmart because, of course, they got their food stamps yesterday. It was the 8th. Now, he, of course, wants to convince everybody that he's a great husband. So he's like, well, she goes in the store, and when she comes out, I pull up, and I let her get in the car, and then I fill the car. How about you get up and go inside and help her? Why don't you do that? But I guess because you're the one who's the full-time beggar, she might as well do something and go inside and spend the food stamps that you guys have been granted. She could at least do that, I guess. But then you come on and you're like, the trolls think that the only time we come on is when we need something. You know why you didn't come on? You were able to come on yesterday? Was because somebody paid for the hotel room for a week and you got your food stamps. Had those things not happened, you would have been on begging for money. The question is, when you need money, do you come on and not beg? It's not that when everything has been paid for, you don't beg. When you need it, do you come on and beg? Or don't beg? Let me say that again clearly. When you need the money for the hotel room, and you need money for food according to you, do you come on and just chit-chat? Because it's easy for you to say, I come on and talk when I don't, and when I'm not begging, when everything is already paid for. That's not the litmus test. The test is, what do you do when you do need it? That's the test. We all know you don't need to beg right now. Yeah, I don't. Show me proof, because again, your alter ego Steve Crick was in here. Oops, sorry. I'm gonna ask again. Post the photo of the letter that you got from McDonald's saying that the reason why you were fired was because they got sick and tired of phone calls from TikTok or awareness. I don't care which word it was, although I wrote down that you said TikTok. Show the letter. If you are going to be in your live telling people that phone calls from TikTok and or awareness is the reason why you got fired, and that is what it says on both of your termination letters, prove it. Prove it. I don't need to see your address. We already know who the owner of the McDonald's is, because that's easy to find. It's public knowledge because his business is registered. That's for public consumption. It doesn't take long to figure that out. When people have real businesses and they're registered, that's public. Real easy to figure out. So you don't have to hide anything about the McDonald's letter other than the address, even though people also know where you live. Cover whatever pertinent information that could lead to anything damaging. Protect you and your family. I am all about that. But show us the meat of the letter. Show it. Because you keep saying it's quote unquote our fault. You lump all of us in there together. At least I talk about you as an individual. You want to lump us all in together. And for the record, I stand on this. If I find out anybody associated with me makes a phone call about somebody's work, they will be disassociated from me. I don't believe in that. I want you to stop begging, so I want you to have a job. I would never call a person's job and get them fired. For what? What does that prove? I want to see you work. I want to see you move from this place. Why would I stop you from working? I want to see you work, and I want to see if you still beg on TikTok. And I said this last night, and I'm going to say it today. He was like, I'll never move anywhere where there's a pool. Because I used to watch my father-in-law get up every day and have to clean out that pool. And the first thing that thought to me was, well, at least you had an example of somebody who got up every day and did some work. Why haven't you learned that lesson? Why haven't you learned that lesson? Then he's like, I haven't been sleeping. Why? You don't got to worry about the hotel room for an entire week. But guess what? That week isn't going to help you. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if you're not working yet, which in the middle of the day y'all are at Walmart and you said this is what time you usually go to the gym, so there's no job yet. Even if you started today, you won't get paid for at the very least a week, but more likely 2. And if you get paid every 2 weeks, you probably won't get paid until 3 weeks. So guess what's going to happen when this week is over? You're going to be right back to begging unless you find another kind benefactor. So this isn't over. This is just a pause. We'll be right back at it. There'll be no difference. And you want me to believe that you don't have Medicaid, that it's just the health department? I don't believe it. Good morning. I don't believe it at all. Then he was like, and guess what, y'all? I learned something about TikTok. I learned that you can only block so many people. So when you block and you hit the limit, every time you block somebody, somebody comes off the list. Sir, why don't you go read and do some research on how TikTok works? Because I'm sick of you getting surprised about the things we all already know. Let me give you another piece of advice. You couldn't block me enough to stop me. Okay? Ask Matilda. Your mods and you don't have enough blocking power to stop me from hearing about you. To hearing what you say in the live. To hear about the lies that you tell and the scams that you run. There isn't enough blocking in the world for that. So keep on. But if you have everything together and you're always saying that you're willing to have a conversation, take all of your little silly rules off the table. Take all your silly rules off the table. Because having a conversation with me doesn't require you to see my face at all. Let's pretend like it's a phone conversation. Let's pretend that it's a phone conversation and I'm offering you $500, which I would never. But if I was offering you $500, you wouldn't need to see my face. You wouldn't need to know my name. Would you? All you would need to know is what is my CA number. That's it. And what time I'm going to send it. So miss me with the little silly rules that you need to see my face or know my name or see where I live. That's a fallacy. Because you wouldn't need it if I was going to send you money. Did you ask for the name, address, phone number of the person who paid for a week? So if you don't need it for people to send you money, you don't need it for people to have a conversation. Period. So take your little rules off the table and come over here because I'm blocked over there. You got it all together. You figured it all out. You got all the Bible scriptures that support your nonsense. Come over here. You don't have to have the camera on. unblock me, and I'll come over there, and I'll sit with your audience and have the conversation. It won't be rude. It won't be nasty. It won't be curse filled. I won't try to get your account bananaed. I won't ask people to report your page or your CI. We'll just have a conversation about what you do in life and on this app. That's it. You're a big man that takes care of your family and does what he needs to do, and you're good to your wife, and everything you do is just fine. Have the conversation. They are undefendable. Indefendable, undefendable. They are defendable lists. I don't know which word is real. There's no defending them. So I'll be watching. Okay. Because I respect my mod's time. Oh, Jalen is back live. I will do an open mic for a few minutes, but I gotta respect my mod's time. I'm not gonna be here all day. And plus today Mr. Didi is off, so we got some things to do. We have some plans. But I'm willing to open up the mic for a few minutes in case anybody wants to come up and say anything about any of the people that I've talked about or anybody else on this app that may be scamming. You're good to stay a little longer? Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Oh no, they haven't paid the lady back. And they're actually blaming us for that because they're saying that because we got them fired, that's why they can't pay her back. But they've rewritten history because they tried to pretend to, well, he tried to pretend to their audience that he was paying them back until he got fired. You only worked, what, 3.5, 4 weeks at max? And you only started paying her back when we started to apply pressure? You weren't paying her back before that. You had blocked her. You blocked her after she gave you the money and she asked for it back because she told you from the gate it was a loan. So no, they haven't paid her back. Good morning, Fluffy.
Good morning, Digital. I just wanted to let you know, a while back I came across the video of Tim Nash.
Hold
He
on, let
was,
me put up
he-
his picture so people
I'm
know what you're
sorry, can
talking
you hear
about.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was just saying, let me put up his picture so people know who you're talking about. Go ahead.
Okay. So a while back I come across the video that somebody had made from one of Tim Nash's lives, and he was in the hospital. And the nurse came in and asked him, about his medical conditions, and he said he had hepatitis. He said he had a bulging and herniated disc, and he said he had sciatica. And she said, "Is that it?" And he said, "Yes, ma'am, that's it." I'm
Wow.
I'm looking for that video, and when I find it, because I believe I sent it to Just Stop.
Mm-hmm.
But when I find that video, I will send it to you,
Thank you.
because I promise you it's out there, and what I said is 100% true.
Yeah, I know you're not gonna say anything and not put your like have your name associated with it and not know for it to be a fact. So I don't even doubt that.
But it
Okay,
was
you
a
might
while
have it,
back,
Mickey
and
Muffy.
I'm going to find it. When I do, I will send it to you. But
Okay.
he didn't bring up anything about his cancer, and he didn't bring up anything about his seizures.
or his heart that
Yeah,
had
or his
heart
heart
surgery.
problem,
Wow,
or his salamander leg.
wow, what a slime ball. And yet you got people feeling sorry for you. Like that nurse paid for his medications and paid for um what did she pay for that night? She paid for, oh, and for something for him to eat. And as a nurse, she probably sees patients like that all the time and thought she was helping.
Yeah, Sandy, it was when he cut his finger. That's exactly when it was.
Oh, it was when he cut his finger. That wasn't that long ago. So what?
It's been a little while now.
I mean, what I'm saying is, it wasn't when he was back in Philly.
No, 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 no. It wasn't when he was in Pittsburgh.
So
No.
I'm just trying to think, like, if he tries to pretend like the timeline was, oh, it was before I was diagnosed. Anything that happened after Philly,
Yeah,
it
yeah. It
was
was
it
after
was the open
Pittsburgh.
heart surgery and the cancer had already been told by that point.
Yes.
Wow, that is nuts. That is nuts. Well, I hope everybody finds it, because please send it to me, because I know that's gonna make the rounds very quickly. I love when we have proof. I didn't even know any of that. A lung removal. Yeah, open heart surgery with no scars. Exactly. And it's funny because you would think he would remember that he told that lie. He is always showing himself without a shirt on.
Mama says she has it. She wants to know where she can send it to.
Mama, you can either send it to my Instagram, which is the digital underscore deceivers underscore shadow. And if you can't send it there, you can email it to me. Same name, digital deceivers shadow at gmail.com. Either one.
And the other day, somebody brought up his open heart. And the other day, somebody brought up his open heart surgery, and he said it wasn't exactly an open heart surgery.
What?
Yeah, I was watching that live when he said that. I believe just stopping Scam Opera was in there too.
So that's like him saying the leg got removed. White Sox, you've been doing so well, buddy. Stop, don't knock the.
Absolutely, Vicky. Don't give it money to anyone on this app.
No, not a single soul. There is somebody in your community that could use it. There's what's going on in Texas. There is somebody somewhere that is in genuine need and could use it. And if you can't find anybody genuine, put it in your own pocket and save it for your rainy day. You said please don't donate to Texas. What?
Yeah, he said that
Please
yesterday.
don't donate to Texas. Is that what you mean? Don't donate to people on here? What do you mean don't donate? No, you mean do donate. Oh, okay, that's what I thought. I was about to say. Don't bring that around here. We are all in
Right?
support of Texas. No problem. I understand. I think I was when I read it, a comma would have made the difference. But I get what you were saying. I'm sorry. No, we are in full support of Texas. Those people were done wrong. You mean to tell me you couldn't spend $50,000 for an alert system? Oh, you live in Texas? Okay. No problem. He's always saying he's not withdrawing. What does that mean? Withdrawing what? Oh, whatever. He and Lisa are twins. And what's funny is they came from the same place. They came from the same place. Oh, I'm so sorry, Gail Mitchell. Is it Mitchell? I'm so sorry. It's such a sad state of affairs. And then to see on the news the number of missing It was shocking to me. It was shocking. Yes, it was Mother Nature's mighty wrath, but we've been talking about preparedness for years. And when you know something is possible, do it. You can spend money on whatever you want. Take care of the very people who put you in office. That's all I'm saying. Take care of the community. That's what you promised. Wait a minute. What? Enchanted not. You don't even know if she's okay? Does she live in the area? Oh my goodness. I got people to add to my prayers.
I don't know what in the world just happened. Daggone TikTok just crashed.
I thought you just dropped. I was like, oh, I
Like
hope.
all of a sudden, it just said TikTok, something about TikTok had a bunch of crashes, and it totally logged me out the app and closed, and I had to relog back in and everything.
Wow, because we was just sitting here. I was like, oh, maybe he got a call, or I was like, maybe I was running my mouth and you said goodbye and I didn't hear you.
But yeah, yesterday, someone offered to pay for Tim Nash's room over the phone, and he said he can't do that no more because someone tried to take advantage of him.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, again, the police got called that night. So where's the police report? What's the police report number? Who was the police officer that came out? Because they always give you either a number or a card. Because when they call it in, it gets an immediate number that you're able to go back in and get the police report from. Where is it, Tim? Where is it? And wherever he was going to be staying, this $300 a night, that wasn't at a hotel. That was supposed to be in somebody's house. So why wouldn't somebody be able to call them and pay for it?
Yeah, he thinks we're all stupid. Like we don't know he's staying at that single wide he's at every single day.
Exactly right. Sitting across from it in a chair, chilling. Like, come on, you don't even look like you're in distress whatsoever. Yeah, digital. It's. I think it's all one word. I don't think you can have spaces. But make sure you put both. It, Erica, put a S after the R. It's Digital Deceivers Shadow. There are two S's. If you don't put the two S's, if you don't put the two S's, I won't get it. Go back to sleep, White Sox. Get comfortable and go back to sleep. It's
And
time to use the Wi-Fi.
I'm
Okay,
with you. I'm about tired of seeing Josh and Ada say, "Oh, we only come on here when we need a little bit of help."
they are they irk my nerves. You guys have two daughters, and my question is, what are you teaching them? Are you teaching them you don't have to work hard for the things you want? Just beg for it.
And Tim Nash had me in stitches the other day. I think it was the day before yesterday. He came on, and that's the day he got that $100. And he said, "Yeah, I come on. I only asked for a little bit of help. I'm not asking for a whole bunch of money like all these other people." But he was asking for $300. Like $300 is just a little bit of money.
Exactly. They always say that. Like, I'm only asking for 19, but I want you to do this. I want you to look back at every time you've gone live and the amounts you've asked for and total it. You would be in the thousands of dollars, sir. And then add how much you actually got. And you would still be in the thousands of dollars. So just because you ask for what you think is a smaller amount every day, it adds up over time. Look at Tim and Angela in this hotel room.
Yeah, I added that up, and they're paying over $18,000 a year
Wow.
just for the hotel room. at $65 a day.
Yes.
It's over $18,000 a year.
I remember we did that for somebody else. I can't remember who. Oh, it was Bree and Ty. And when I asked one of his mods, "Are you prepared?" I think it was like 30,000. Are you prepared to give them 30? She was like, "No, I never looked at it like that." Exactly. It's easy to be like, "Oh, $65 a day," but again, a lot of these people in there sound like older women. Every once in a while there is a man, but it sounds like older women. Why are you taking care of another woman and her husband? Who took care of you?
Okay, Tim's my age. Tim's my age. Okay, and I couldn't
Wait,
imagine
which
being.
Tim? Tim Nasher.
Yeah, Tim and Angela.
Okay, okay.
He's my age, and as a grown man, there's no way in hell I could sit there and put this meal is sponsored by to feed my wife. Like, there is no way as a man I could ever allow something like that to happen.
And he tries to couch it in humility, right? Like, I'm so humble. It's not that. It's you have no shame. It's not humility. You have no shame.
Like, I don't
Okay,
see how
Brandon.
Angela can take him seriously with anything.
Me neither. Me neither. If she was my friend, I would be like, you could do so much better. But she wants that lifestyle. She started the lifestyle. So she loves it. And she doesn't have to do anything. Every once in a while she just has to say, I'm doing okay. My seizures was bad, but I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking, or oh thank you and happy birthday. She doesn't have to do anything to live.
Well, the other night it was crazy because it was the night before they got the room paid for a week. It might have been that night. But she was in the background. All I'm asking for is one more day in the hotel room. I just want one more day. That's all I'm asking for. If they could do that, I'd be okay.
And look, they got a week out of it, and not a single thing is going to change. Then it's going to be, well, we could be in the car. Remember the winter? We could be in the car, but it's so cold and we can't warm up. We need a room. Now it's going to be, oh, wow, thank you for that, Miss Amy. Oh, fucking over there. Then it's gonna be it's so hot and we don't have air and it's hot outside, and so when we roll down the window it's humid, and that's bad for her seizures and that's bad for the dog. Like, come on.
You never hear about her seizures until about to get put out the hotel room.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All her health concerns come up when it's time to go. But we now know she can work. All the months that he told people she couldn't work, and now we know she can. They love you, fuck it. Hey, folks, what is it? I bet you this is from you and Kira fighting. What can I do about it?
Well, I'm going to drop down. I appreciate you having me up.
Oh, no problem at
Hopefully
all.
somebody sent you that video. I just wanted to let you know that that video was out there.
Yes, I can't wait to see it. Thank you, thank you. You sent me the
Everybody have a good day, and I'll see y'all out on the streets.
Okay. Mama, did you send the email or did you send it to Instagram? Oh, thank you, Sean. Gmail. Okay, perfect. Perfect, perfect. I appreciate that.
I just had one quick question. Okay, they were touching on her seizures. But if she has seizures to make her feel that sick, I honestly, I believe she's sick, but she's not that sick. I don't believe she even has seizures.
There's something wrong, and she may have like a condition where seizures are possible. But the problem is that they use her seizure condition, if she has one, as a weapon that only
Right,
comes when they need something, and that's the problem. Like now of course he's listening to this live, so
right,
of course during this week she's going to have a so
right.
of course during this week she's going to have a seizure, and they're going to be like, see, she had a seizure and we didn't need anything, but that's because we're talking about it.
I don't know. If she had a seizure a week ago. I mean, if you continue to have these seizures like every week, aren't you concerned? Aren't you, I don't. I just don't know. That's
Listen, I don't know. I don't have her medical records, nor do I want them, so I can't say for sure one way or another if she has a severe condition. I'm just seeing it seems like it's a Well, what he's gonna say is that, and this is true. People who have seizures, if they get stressed, they are much more likely to have seizures. So
well.
what he's trying to say is that when they're not sure where they're going to stay, it upsets her. She can't sleep. She has a seizure, and then he can't sleep because he's worried about her. All of that is absolutely positively could be the truth. It could absolutely be the truth.
And when you
Go
have a seizure, doesn't it take something out of you? You know how like say when you have a mild heart attack, you know how that takes something out of you?
ahead.
Doesn't the seizure take like it kind of ruins you slowly, you know what I mean?
No, not necessarily. It depends on the kind of seizures. And people who might have a seizure condition their entire life, yeah, it will wipe you out for the day. Like you have to sleep. Sometimes some people with certain seizures have to go to the hospital because they have to be monitored. So it
Okay.
depends on the seizure itself, how often you have them, what plan you put in place with your doctor, that sort of thing. But
Okay.
does it make you very tired and weak? It can, absolutely.
Okay. All right. That's all I wanted to say. 'Cause
Month?
I was
Wow.
intrigued.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. I'll drop so you could go enjoy your day with Mr.
Okay, thank you. You got one
All
more.
right. All right. Bye.
Bye. Good
Okay,
morning.
good morning. I'm sorry. I have a question. Somebody in your chat named Roy Boy saying that uh, the guy, that guy makes him sick. He was in his live yesterday and offered to send him money.
Oh, we got a flip flopper in here?
Yes, I have the screenshots.
Roy
And
Boy. I didn't even see that name.
yeah, Roy Boy, he is, let me see.
Roy Boy, would you like to come up?
This dude's profile pic is making me nauseous. But so you guys saw it? Okay. Yep. I got the screenshots and his mod said thank you.
Roy, oh, Royal Boy, would you like to come up?
Roy
Because,
boy.
well, and let me say this. I'm not going to say, oh, Roy Boy, I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Let me just say this, Roy Boy, before you get started. I know that sometimes we think that we're saying something to get them to expose themselves or whatever. Let me give some advice.
Yes,
First
Becky.
of all, when you are using an account that you come into awareness with, don't use that same account to talk to them, because then we don't know what side of the fence you're on, and we don't like flip floppers, right? Because I can't trust you if you're a flip flopper. But go ahead,
I know.
William.
Okay, that was something that I did on purpose but it's not something I usually do because it made me feel bad.
Mhm.
But basically, I said that and to get his reaction
Mhm.
and then to leave him hanging. I
Yeah.
know it's very rude. I know it's rude and it kind of hurts my feelings doing that. But you know what? I'm on disability. I've been on disability since early 2000s, and I get absolutely no help by anybody. Nobody pays shit for me. Excuse my language.
I understand.
And that's why after that, believe it or not, I actually left the chat, and I didn't go back in a burner account or nothing. I just left it go. And
Mhm.
I know he got pissed after a little while. Now, if I specifically said it a certain way, I said, wait, hold on, what did I say? I could pick, I said, oh, well, I sent you money on PayPal a few weeks ago. I don't know if you remember, something like that. And he said, oh, I don't know if he remembered, probably not. And because I mean, I would know if somebody blessed me with $50, I would remember right off the top of my head. And I said, oh, so 200 would work. I never said that I was going to give him money. I
Mhm.
specifically said, um, what was your goal or something? And he said $150 for the hotel room. And then he said something about maybe getting something to eat too. Then I just messaged in there. So 200 would work.
Mhm. But what I want
I
you to
didn't say
understand, yeah, but what I want you to understand, Roy Boy, is that while like you understand your intention, and we can
yeah,
understand,
see, I didn't know anybody would pay attention to me.
right?
You know what I mean? I'm just
But when other
you know,
people who are thinking about giving money see that, they may interpret
uh,
it as, oh, he's
I
just,
was really trying to help him.
you know what I'm saying? Like they can
Yeah.
read it a different way. So I understand. Let me just
Oh, I
say,
see what you're saying.
half the stuff I want to type, I have to back out because I have to think
Right.
about the larger community. How, what
Mhm.
other people could read from what I say.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, they read into, oh, well, this dude's gonna help him. So maybe, you know what I mean? I'll give him
Right,
out
exactly.
another night or
I
something.
can help him a little bit. Or but then it also, because again, they have their spies in here too, right? So then they go
Right.
back and they say to him, "Oh, the trolls were doing that to you on purpose." And now it gives him an excuse
And
to say, "Look at what the trolls
then
did."
they get more sympathy.
Exactly right.
Yeah, they get more sympathy then. I didn't look at it that I didn't hear it that way.
Yeah,
Right.
But
so if
I
you,
no,
understand.
I mean, I've been on disability for a long time. I have to live off of $1,600 a month. 4 years ago, I got sober too. I got clean off of H, and I 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, so I lost everything. I lost my house after my mom passed away. I kind of went a little crazy on the whole. I was in Kensington,
Okay. Well, I'm very
and
glad you got clean because I know that has made your life
yeah.
better.
E- Every time I see these guys on there, what do you call dry bagging,
Uh huh.
it burns me up inside.
Yeah.
It just burns me up because I mean, because I can't even do that. Like I have some friends that I'm friends with online and stuff. So I don't, I, and I have a 31-year-old daughter who I live with right now because I would be on the streets. Um, if, if it wasn't for my daughter, I would be on the streets right now, or I'd have to go into a hospital or something because I can't afford to do anything. After I lost my house, my truck, everything that I've had, even my whole wardrobe, my sneakers, shoes, everything was gone. I got evicted,
I'm sorry.
but like I said, I got clean. So, but I don't ask anybody for just like straight, especially just like, can you give me this money? You know,
Right.
with my friends and me. if I have to borrow money, I ask them if I can borrow it because, and they know as soon as I get paid, as soon as I get my check, I pay it right back. I always pay back everything that I ever get, and so that's why it kills me it unalives me to listen to these guys on there, especially Rich the Hungry.
Yeah, I don't watch it because it drives me
Oh
crazy.
my
Hold on,
God, don't.
Roy. Sweet Sassy, was there something you wanted to say?
Just if you do that with people, go in under a totally different account, a ghost mode, because we have eyes like the hills.
That's
We're
right.
Yeah,
and when I saw your
yeah.
name
I
here,
hmm
because of course we don't know when you type in there, we don't know your intentions. And
Right, I get that.
yeah, and I was
Yeah,
like, okay, yeah, we call. I'm sorry, that's what we do. We call out the enablers too, because the enablers,
sure.
you know, and it
And
just
then why would you be in here if you enable him? That will always
Is
be a
that?
question. So just be
I get
mindful.
that.
And I'm happy that you were able to get clean. I know that's not an easy
Thank you.
process. And so
Right,
please be proud of yourself. And while I realize that in this economy, that amount of money doesn't serve you, you have millions of reasons why you can find in your life to be grateful, starting with the fact that you even have a daughter that you can live with, because some people don't.
right.
Thank you,
Yeah, I know.
Sassy. I
No,
appreciate that.
thank you for having me up and
Oh,
everything. It
no
was.
problem. And
I
thank you
usually
for
don't.
willing to come up.
Huh? Yeah. Well, as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh no, how am I going to explain this? I'm a Gen X. I'm not very good at typing and stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not very good at typing, and I'm
Yeah.
also very empathetic. I'm very empathetic. You know, the furthest away from being a psychopath you can get. So that's why, like, after I said that to him, I left the chat, and I never even saw how he reacted to her, how the reaction to it, because it kind of it still hurts my feelings doing that, like, making it look, you know what I mean, kind of getting his hopes up and then leaving him hanging.
Right. I get it.
You know what I mean? Like that does feel bad, inside me. But
Well,
I I
listen, we all
I
have
can't.
to learn. I've made mistakes. A lot of people,
Yep.
everybody makes mistakes. We're not perfect. And so
No.
that's why I'm glad she brought it up. I'm glad. I appreciate that you were willing to come up and explain yourself. And then we were
Mhm.
able to talk about, alternatives. And so get a
Right.
burner account, go in ghost mode, don't say anything because again, you're not the only person. You and the person in the
Mhm.
in the in the screen aren't the only people reading
Right.
what you type. So we just got to be mindful. That's all. But listen, it's
Mhm.
10 o'clock,
Okay.
and I am going to hold on. Who is this? Hold on, Christina. I'm gonna get ready to go. I'm gonna let Christina come up briefly, and then because I don't want to take any more of my mod's times. Oh wait, what happened, Christina? You dropped? Okay.
Let's
Oh, maybe that
Yeah.
was a mistake.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for
Well,
coming
it
up.
was fun talk. It was fun talking to you. I'll talk to you another time.
Okay, no problem.
All right, hon.
I'll
Have a
drop
good
you
day.
down. You too.
Hey,
Bye
I just
bye.
wanted to come up and say congratulations to Roy Boy.
Oh,
Staying sober is harder than it looks. It's not very easy, and I believe his intentions were good. He was just trying to do what all of us trolls try to do and troll somebody. But I understand how it looks. I get it. I see it in the chat. I just don't say anything. But I just want him to know that he is doing good and keep up the fight. Staying sober is not easy. It's very hard. It's a very mental, mind effing thing. So I'm proud of him. And thank you, Dee Dee, for allowing me up here. Have a good day. I'm
of
gonna
course.
drop.
Anytime. Yes, I second everything she said. I know it's not easy, especially in this economy and everything that's going on. It doesn't matter what side of the political aisle you are on. There is turmoil. We have Texas. We have our own family issues. We have our own stress that we've just, we have our own regrets. Like, it's a lot going on. And then we have people on TikTok taking advantage of others. And sometimes it's frustrating that we can't do more, that we can't affect more change. And we know if we say anything, we're going to get blocked. So I get it. I get it 100%. But we hold ourselves to a standard, and we just have to try to live by it. But Roy Boy, thank you for coming up. I appreciate. What are you apologizing for? You don't have to apologize. People don't learn. Look, you know what I say? We don't know what we don't know. So if we never say anything, then how would he learn? Or anybody else for that matter. No reason to apologize. And we got to protect ourselves over here too. Like, what are we doing? So I appreciate you. And I appreciate the kindness by which you did it. Thank you very much. So, this is it. Thank you, Roy Boy, for coming. If you liked what you heard, follow me, like the live. I'll be back here Friday morning, God willing, 6:30 a.m. Please hug your loved ones because tomorrow isn't promised. Remember, you can find something to be grateful for. Take 15 minutes every day and do self-care. And if you don't have 15 minutes, do 10. If you don't have 10, do 5. If you don't have 5, do 1 minute. And if it's just closing the door and locking it in the bathroom or your bedroom or whatever, and having a moment of peace to yourself, everything going on in your house will be there when you get out. If you got to sit in your car for 1 extra minute and decompress from the day, do it. It's important. So I appreciate you all. I love you. You are my motivation for getting up every morning and watching these people. I appreciate it. And if I don't see you in the streets at TikTok, I will see you Friday morning, 6:30 a.m. And just a little caveat, Digital After Dark this month is going to be really late. I think it's going to be the 26th of July. So if you have a little calendar or somewhere where you write things down, July 26th. There's a bunch of MMA happening this month. And I don't want to be paying attention to that and not talking. Praying for everybody in Texas. And I will see you guys soon. I'm out.